Major support for Do the Math has been provided by Chevron, the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, California Resources Corporation, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, Panama Buena Vista Union School District, Bakersfield City School District, and the San Luis Obispo County Office of Education, with additional production assistance provided by these supporters of education in Kern County and throughout the state of California.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to Do the Math. I'm Michael.
And I'm Scott. And if you'd like to be part of our show today, please give us a call. If you're here in Bakersfield, give us a call, 636-4357. If you're in San Luis Obispo County, you can also call us. The number is toll-free, 866-636-6284. You can email us your question, and we'd be happy to answer it. If you get it in real quick, we can do it today. If you get it in over the weekend, we can answer it next week. But you can always email us your question, dothemath@kern.org. You can also watch the show online, dothemathonline.net, and social media has us all over the place. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
All right, well, you know what? We do have phone tutors available until 5:30, as Scott said. Mark your calendars. Beginning next week, we have the contest for the fifth graders this year.
Right.
So the fifth grade call-in contest will begin next week. Anybody can continue to call in. But if you're in a fifth grade classroom, when you call in, you want to make sure that you let us know who your math instructor is, so that that way we can keep track of it. The classroom that calls in the most during the month of November will win a visit from Do the Math. We'll come out to your classroom. All the kids are going to get something as far as an appreciation gift, let's say, for
nothing better than free stuff, right?
Doing the math, and the top phone callers will receive some extra things. You guys will do some math games and things like that. So that is going on during the entire month of November. We'll start that next week for the fifth grade call-in contest. We'll be visiting a business today doing a little tiling, measuring and things like that. So we'll visit with Mary Lou in a little bit. We have a very special guest in studio. We'll get to him in just a little bit as well. But first, let's take a look at today's Math in the News. Have you ever, and I hope the answer is no, been involved in a car crash?
I have not.
There you go. Well, I last year was involved in a car crash where somebody came through, hit us, and totaled the car.
Oh.
Hit on my side, on the driver's side. And everything happens, like they say, it was like kind of in slow motion, you know, as the car was going around, and I mean, the airbags going off and things like that, but the noise was something that was incredible as well. And I found an article about this. So it says car crashes are dangerous, we all know that. Car manufacturers, therefore, are doing what they can to protect drivers and passengers alike. As we know, with the airbags and crumple zones and things like that, added features that they put for crashes, famous crash test dummies, you know, things like that. So anyway, the crumple zone, seatbelts, airbags, the innovations typically focus on external physical injuries like concussions and things like that. But loud noises, as I said, is something that they're looking into now to avoid hearing loss.
Okay.
All right. Mercedes-Benz is one of the first companies that is doing something about this. So they announced this thing called Pre-Safe Sound, which temporarily shuts our ears off.
Wow.
Okay, so I was like, all right, how are you going to shut our ears off in a car crash?
Right.
So check this out. So what I did is, first of all, let's pull up a diagram of the ear, and students, based on what grade level they're in, are familiar with the different parts of the ear as far as like the canal, the inner ear, knowing not to put things in their ear like Q-tips, which, you know, like, oh yeah, I use Q-tips all the time, shove them in there, and, you know, you're not supposed to. But they do have a lot of little muscles, as we can see in here. And one of them, called the stapedius muscle, can help block out loud noises. So we can see that here's the general diagram, and then we can go, and here's the stapedius muscle. All right, so the stapedius muscle is right back here behind a lot of that stuff. All right. The stapedius muscle sits between the eardrum and the inner ear. If the stapedius contracts, the sound hits the eardrum, doesn't pass cleanly into the inner ear. Instead, some of that sound reflects back harmlessly back onto the eardrum. When we're faced with a loud noise, something called the acoustic reflex kicks in, a combination of involuntary muscle contractions, including a contraction of the stapedius muscle, creating this muting effect. So, the reason I bring that up is because what they do is they say there's no way to stop the noise, but this is called pink noise. Effectively, pink noise is a sound which fools our ears into thinking that the world has become really loud all of a sudden. Pink noise has more energy than a single tone because of the way it's spread across the spectrum. Therefore, it can have a lower volume but trigger the stapedius reflex. Okay. So when the car senses, so they have sensors on the cars and things now, when the car senses an imminent impact, the stereo plays a loud static type noise around 85 decibels.
Wow.
Pink noise level,
yeah.
85 decibels. The 85 decibel noise hits your ears just milliseconds before the crash, which is plenty of time for the stapedius to contract into action, so therefore you don't get the harmful noise from the car crash. I found that interesting, so it was like, all right, let's take a look at decibel levels of various things.
Sure.
So we can see that around 85 decibels is this pink noise that would be played before the actual crash, which is about the sound of a vacuum cleaner.
Okay. So we're tricking the ear into thinking that the noise that the stereo is making is loud enough, or it is going to be loud enough
to make that stapedius reflex contract
before the really big sound comes.
Right. So that therefore it's blocked
right.
the really big noise, which would be up around here. And then I was thinking, all right, so those are the decibel levels of things that most people are used to, and in a classroom. This I found interesting. Does it matter where you sit in class? So if you are right up close to the instructor, you've got 100% going on, you're a meter away. The further back you sit, you can see how much that drops off. Quickly. So if you're sitting in the back of the class, even if you're in the third or fourth row, look how much that drops off.
Right.
That's not even half.
Yeah.
Okay. So it does. So where did you sit in class? Did you?
I was a big fan of the back. I really like to stretch out a little bit and
so
have
you were
nobody
able to
behind
sit
me.
where you wanted to in class?
If I was allowed to, I did. In my classroom, doesn't work that way.
Well, I remember. So how does it work in your classroom?
In my classroom, I decide where people sit.
Okay.
I think that's kind of important.
I remember growing up in elementary school, we were seated alphabetically.
Okay.
And it seemed like I was kind of always in the middle of the second row, going over, because last name C. Was never stuck at the back of the class. I had a cousin whose last name began with Z. So they were always in the last row and the last seat.
That's right.
So anyway, that is today's Math in the News. Decibel levels, a little pink noise, and where that all fits into things. I just found that interesting about the car crash, the noise,
right,
and how loud it is, and how somebody's coming up with a way to kind of alleviate that or help avoid hearing loss from a car crash. Anyway, we do have phone tutors available until 5:30, and in studio with us right now we have Trevor. How are you?
Good.
Why don't you let everybody know where you go to school and what grade you're in?
I go to school at Stockdale Elementary, and I'm in the 4th grade.
How's 4th grade?
It's pretty good so far.
So far?
Yep.
All right, because you've been in school for about a quarter now.
Yes.
You guys are just getting your report cards this week, I think, with
we got it today.
Conferences. You got it today? Mm-hmm. Should I ask how the report card was, or do I avoid that question? Well, we're on live TV. How was the report card?
Pretty good.
It was pretty good? Mm-hmm. Any A's?
Yeah, I have 2.
There you go. All right, so you got some A's.
We'll stick with the A's.
What were the A's in? Do you mind sharing with us?
I'm not exactly sure, but I think math.
Oh, good. Math was
That's the key right there.
Do you like math in 4th grade?
Yeah, I do.
What do you like about it? I mean, what are you guys doing new that's so different from 1st, 2nd, and 3rd?
Something that we're doing new is like in the 100 and 1000 digits.
Okay.
And then like how we have to break them up and then add them with the basic math or math digit.
All right. So you like that? You like going to school for a longer day?
No, not
No,
really.
I didn't like it either when I had to anyway. Hey, listen, we've got a moment or two before we head out live to our shot. So why don't we head on over to the board real quick, and we're going to have you work on one kind of problem that I think you're pretty comfortable with right now.
Okay.
So let's put up 42. Yeah, your
Oh, wait.
hand's a little close to the board
okay.
is what that is, I think.
Yeah, try to get your hand away from there. There you go. Hey, well done.
So 42 times, and you selected a number between 1 and 9. 8. All right, so good. So do for us 42 times 8 and explain to us how you're working that out.
I'm working this out by like doing the upside down V, and then let's see, we have like I guess a 40, and then a 2,
Oh, good.
and then we kind of like stack them like that, and then multiply them by the 8, and then we get these two numbers, and then add them. So this 4 times 8 equals 32,
Good.
and then we just add the extra 0 from here, so I get 320. And then this is a basic math fact, as my teacher says, and this is equals 16. And then
I'm going to move
we-
this up for you just a little bit so you get some more room there. There you go.
Okay, and then we add 320, and then 20, and then plus 16, and then we get 6 in the ones place, 3 in the tens, and 3 in the hundreds. So we get 336 as our answer.
Nice job. Well done. I like how you did that. Now, how did you break this up? Because I've seen things like this before where they're kind of like factor trees and you're multiplying them, but I don't think that's what you're doing there, right? Where'd the 40 and the 2 come from?
The 40 and the 2 come from this fact.
Right, but how did you break it up? Like, could I put 30 and 12 there? Would that be okay?
Yes, that would
Okay,
work too.
you could do all kinds of stuff there, huh? All right.
Yes.
How did you pick 40 and 2?
As our teacher says, she says pick the easiest math fact. So like 40, since it's an even number, and then the 2, so we could just add the 8 to the 40, and then we could multiply the 8 and the 2.
I like how also you seem to have broken it up. This is the tens spot, right? Which is not just a 4, it's a 40. And then this one comes in the 1 spot and you had a 2 there. So this is really being added together. And I think you explained that well. Thank you. Nice job. Well done.
Thank you.
Nicely done. I was not expecting that. I was expecting more of a traditional way, and then we were going to introduce some new ways to
Right.
them. But that's a clever way of doing it right there. And I guess, Scott, maybe you could do it as 26 and 16 sometime.
Sure.
Or maybe we could go 44 and -2 and
Why
do that.
not?
Do all sorts of
Heck
things.
yeah, that'd be fun.
Anyway, we'll get to back to some more multiplication in a little bit. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30. Right now, we're going to go out to the workplace, see a little tiling with Mary Lou.
Well, welcome to Flipping Houses with Mary Lou. Just kidding. We are live today. I am here with John Lee, branch manager of Emser Tile.
Hello.
John, can you quickly kind of tell everybody exactly what your company includes?
Well, here at Emser Tile, we are one of the country's largest tile distributor. So we work a lot with tile distributors in town. So all the people that resell tile, we sell to them, they resell to the customer. We work with a lot of architects and construction companies and home builders in town to help them create the goal and the dream, have it come true. And that's what we work with all the time. And being one of the largest tile distributors in America, we have such a large breadth of selection for people to choose from. So it's really a pleasure to get to work with people and make their dream like this beautiful project we're working on right here come true and see the smile on their face.
Now, how long have you been with the company?
I've been with Emser 4 years now. Next month will be my anniversary, and it's been a great 4 years. It's a great company.
Can you give us a little bit background of Emser?
Sure, yes. Emser has been around since 1968. It's a family-owned company, started by a father, and actually the name of the company is named after the 5 brothers. It's the first letter from each of their son's name in chronological order. So it's really great for them to have that in the company, instill that in the company, family values.
Okay, so we're actually on site
Yes.
of a house that you have been working on.
Correct.
Can you kind of tell us what's going on? Because there's a lot of construction going on here.
Yes, there is. This is a good friend of mine, Gilbert. He loaned us his house for this, but what he had here is he bought this about a year and a half ago, and it was a beautiful house, but they wanted to lighten it up and make it a little more modern. So by adding wood look tile, and the grays are really popular right now and stuff like that, we brought that into the house to give it that new pop and give it a new feel. And you see it lightened up the house a little bit, made it look bigger even with the reflection of the light now off of this rather than the dark wood that was here before. They put some new paint on the wall. They're changing the fireplace from an older brick style to more of a modern look that with a lot of stacked stone we're seeing, and the colors once again kind of carry into the floor with the grays and the whites and stuff like that. So it'll give it that brighter look as well.
So in here used to be carpet, correct?
It was a carpet and wood flooring.
Carpet and wood, okay.
Yes.
So, but these are two mediums, right?
Correct.
Because this is tile, it's a wood, it's like takes like a wood faux kind of tile.
Exactly.
But this, what type of material would that be?
That's a quartz product right there. So it has, if you don't know if you can see with the camera, but it has like a little glitter in there. So when the light hits it, it'll have a little sparkle in that right there. And there's a stacked stones that come in panels like we have up here. And then you just kind of interlock them and build up on it as you go up on there.
So it's almost like a puzzle that you're putting together.
Very good, yes. And then if there's corner pieces to wrap around if you want to do so. So that way you get a nice finished look like it's all one piece and carries around the front of the fireplace. It's going to look gorgeous, so.
So will this go all the way up?
Correct, yes. We're going to carry that all the way up in the fireplace. Right now he's having a beautiful hearth, wood hearth made to go on top of there to cap it off, which really bring it all together. The fireplace, the floor, and the tile, everything will just be seamless at that point.
Okay, can we see what else is happening? Because we have this room,
Oh, yes.
right? And then there's more rooms
There's a
around
lot
the
more
corner.
going on. So where you're standing right now, if you see the orange on the floor, there's some slight imperfections in the way the tile was laid. Not in the tile itself, but the floor has to be really flat. So sometimes you have to massage the tile to make it work. So we're going to go back through with the installation company and show them what we can do to get that so it looks nice and smooth there so you don't stub your toe. And then you can see in here, this is where we're carrying on with the project with the installation company. He has a lot more going on, knocked out some walls here. They also are getting new cabinets, new countertops, so they're redoing everything. So it's going to be a brand new model.
We were talking, would tile be the first thing to go in or the last thing to go in?
Great question. You can do it at any time, don't get me wrong, but you want to do it last because you're going to have stuff rolling on this stuff if you do it first. You're going to have paint all over the place if you do it first. So you have really a chance of damaging your finished product. So you want to most likely always do it one of the last things to the house.
Is the tile. Okay, and there's another room over here, and this is a finished room, correct?
Yeah, the floor is finished in here. There's still a slight 2 or 3 tiles that we're going to replace. Now, those are some things you may never notice, but we want to give this, it's a permanent product. So this is going to be laid just about forever. So we're not going to replace it in a couple of years. It looks gorgeous. It's not going to damage or anything or wear. So we want to make sure it's done right now because they're never going to replace it again because it just looks that good and it's going to be that durable. Tile, if installed correctly, should last almost a lifetime.
Now, talking about installation, because I'm a fixer-upper kind of person, I like to do it myself. But tile is one thing I'm scared of because to me it seems so difficult.
A project this size you would not want to probably take on yourself. If you want to do a little room to start with, that's a great way to get to learn tile and stuff like that. And every shape of tile will have different things going on. So a small tile like a 13 by 13 will be easier to install than maybe a wood plank like this because the longer a tile gets, you have to match it up and it just makes it a little harder. So you really need a professional or someone that has the time to massage and really knows how to work the tile to get that perfect look.
And also the lineup.
Correct, yes. Line is very important. So it has that seamless look as you can see going through the floor here where the lines match up going across.
Yeah.
That.
Beautiful. Now, when we come back, we're going to be talking about measurements with some math problems, and also we're going to be talking about the angles and how difficult that is.
Definitely.
Yes?
No, definitely. I'm ready.
Okay, let's send it back to the studio.
All right, thanks for that, Mary Lou. I'm glad that you and John Lee have got it going out there and talking about some angles. Hopefully they have some real tricky cuts and we'll make them earn their money on doing the angles out there. 636-4357 is the phone number. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30. As a reminder, next week Starts November, and it also starts the 5th grade call-in contest. So that is going to start. Hopefully those of you in 5th grade, you can find out some more information from your teachers. And there are flyers that have gone out to every 5th grade classroom in the entire county.
Wow. All
So
right.
every single
Getting
5th
the word
grade
out.
teacher. So if you're in 5th grade and you ask your teacher, hey, have you got this flyer yet? Let us know. We'll send it out again, or print one off and send it out to your school so that you guys can get involved in that. Right now, we're going to make Trevor do a little bit more math multiplication. You ready?
Yep.
So we're going to go right to your math book, and we're going to pull one of these out of here.
Okay.
We're going to take a look at number 12. So there's some, you're probably going to write down this expression first. So maybe we'll have Scott write down the expression. So let's have one set of parentheses, 4 times something, close that parentheses, plus another exactly like that, plus, and then one more. And if you'd like to, on the bottom or on the side, here's some numbers that you can jot down. 2, 4, 8, 9, 80, 90, and 200. And here's the
There are
problem.
choices.
There's a book sale at the library. The price for every book is $4. Which expression can be used to show how much money the library will make if it sells 289 books? Use the numbers on the tiles to complete your answer. So every book is $4,
289 books.
and 289 books is the goal that they're going to sell.
And that $4 you can probably see is kind of already up there. But we want to break the number down, kind of like you did in the last one with your little tree. So let's see if you can break
Okay.
down this 289 into 3 different parts.
Okay. So I'm gonna start with this. So I'm gonna no, actually keep that up there, and then I'm gonna do the exact same thing I
Okay,
did.
good idea.
Right now. Get it.
You're
How
okay.
do I do like?
Oh, you want to go down a little bit? Sure.
Oh, there you go. Alright, so then I split it up into 3, which is we still have to do the upside down feet though, as I still do it. And then we do 200, and then 80, and then 9.
Okay, and tell me again how you found out those numbers, right? Because you told me last time you can pick any numbers you want, but you pick some specific numbers there.
Alright, I picked these numbers because our teacher says always try to go for the even in numbers. So like how 80 is even, which is I could have picked like 82.
Sure.
But she says always try to pick the least amount you could pick.
Okay.
So I picked.
And those are the direct place value numbers too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. The other interesting thing is, what if you didn't know which numbers to pick at all? What does this problem tell us about the numbers we have to choose from in red there? Remember, it said choose from these numbers, right? So these are our choices. In your book, it says that they are tiles, but we have numbers to choose there, right? So you could pick a 72, but 72 isn't in the list. But you happen to pick 3 of them that actually worked. Nice job. Okay, so you have those numbers chosen. Now let's figure out where they go.
Alright, so we're gonna do this one first. Since
Okay.
I'm gonna use that one.
Sure. Yeah.
Alright, so we're gonna use 4 times 200 as I wrote right there.
Okay.
And then we're gonna bring it, let's see, down here. So I could, like this. And then equal, so we're gonna do the normal math fact. So 4 times 2 equals 8.
Good.
So that means that 8 with 2 zeros equals 800, yes.
Good job. All right.
So then we're gonna,
So we use this 200 right here, right?
Yes.
There's one of them we use. All right. What else are we gonna use?
alright, now we're gonna use the 80
Okay.
for right here. So 4 times 8 equals 32. And then we add that 0 is
Good.
320.
Okay. So you used 80. Nice job.
Yes. Write that down. Alright, then we're going to use this one over here for 9. And this is already a basic math fact. So 4 times 9 equals 36.
Good. There you go.
So-
use the 9. Those are the 3 you picked there. So the question was asking about an expression, right? So you put 200 in the first one, and 80 in the second one, 9 in the third one. Do they have to be in that order?
No, they don't.
How come? Why is it okay? Why would it be okay to put the 200 at the end and the 9 at the beginning?
It doesn't really matter because as long as if you put the right numbers, as you can see right there, you could put this over here because this is the same fact as over
okay.
here.
Right.
So it would be the exact same number that I got from right here.
Okay. So even though the question doesn't answer, it looks like you're on your way. The question doesn't ask you to solve it, but you're on your way to solving it. Should we figure out how much money comes in from all these books?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, so let's see. I always start with 2 numbers first.
Well, you got all these numbers. I'm wondering if you're going to use these numbers that you had already, right? You did that one,
Oh, yeah.
and you did this one.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. And then you had one more at the end.
Yep.
So I thought maybe you could do something with those numbers. What do you do with those numbers after you get them?
All right, so once you get the answers, you could add them because
How do you know you're going to add them?
by, let's see, 800. It's better if you stack it because if you do need to regroup, like on subtraction, you could just cross out the number like that,
Right.
and then. let's
Gotcha.
see,
We're not
like
quite there
here
yet, but you're right. We could regroup in a minute.
Yep.
So we got the 800.
Right.
And then what are the other numbers? Good.
All right, then we add 320, and then let's see. So 0 plus 0 is 0, and then 0 plus 2 is 2, and then right here we have to regroup. So 8 plus 3 is 11.
Good.
So we're gonna put.
So yeah, I think you're okay there now, right? You got your 1120. Oh, you got a comma in there. Good idea. Anything else we have to add to it?
Yes, and then I always put this number right here, right there, and then plus 36, and then we add this number right here, and then add this number, and there's no number right here, so we just
Right.
add a 1 again, and the same thing right there. So we have a total of 1,156.
So we have 1,156 goldfish?
No.
Corn dogs? What do we have?
1,156. Let's see.
Do you remember what that question asked?
No, not yet.
Well, it asked about the expression. We did that part.
Yes.
But let's see if we can hear from Mike exactly what we were talking about. That we know we had 289 books, and then we had something about a 4. What was the 4, Mike?
The 4 was how much it cost for every book.
So there's the key word, cost, right? So now we have the total cost for all the books. So does cost measured in? How are we going to measure cost?
Wait, what?
How are we going to measure cost? How much something costs?
Oh, we could do division.
Well, we don't need to do any more things. I'm just asking you, this is a great number to have at the very end of the problem.
Oh, yeah.
But that's 1,156 what? Drops of water?
The $1,156
Dollars,
that
there you
they
go. So
earned
go ahead and
from
put that
selling
dollar
books.
sign in there, and you have actually done more than the problem asked, but that's no problem at all. As long as we know what we're talking about at the end, that's how much the total book order would be, right? Nice job. I like how you broke those numbers up there. Well done.
There you go. Nicely done on that. Working with expressions, expanding the number out to 200
Right.
plus 8 plus 9. And we'll take a look at some more of that multiplication right after this. We're in California City at Hacienda Elementary School, and today we're here to Today we're at Hacienda Elementary School, and I've got Tennille with me. How are you?
Good.
You ready?
Yes.
We're going to compare numbers, but we have no numbers. So how about if you select one? Any number you want between 1 and 99. Why'd you select 50?
I don't know. I just like the number.
You like the number? All right. Well, you know what? I'm going to select the number also. I like 23. Select another number. $65. I'm going to go with 7.8. We'll throw some decimal in there. Now you can either choose another decimal number or a whole number. It's up to you. .3, an excellent choice right there. So now what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to take all of these numbers. We have 5 different numbers, and I'd like you to put them in order from smallest to largest. So how do you think you're going to go about this? What's your first thought?
To put 90 in front.
You think 90 is going to be the largest one?
Yes.
Okay, so how about, all right, we have 5 numbers, right? How about we do this? We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are the 5 places we're going to put the numbers. So which one do you think goes at the end? You said 90.3?
Wait, greatest to smallest?
Well, you want to go greatest to smallest or smallest to greatest?
Greatest to smallest.
All right, let's do that. All right, so which one goes first? The greatest number. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little mark so we know we've used that one, okay? Which one goes next? Why?
Because 7.8 is,
But isn't 7 bigger than 6?
yes, but it's not a 2-digit number. This is,
Correct, right? That's the whole number 65. This is the whole number 7 and only 8/10 of a number, right? That's a part.
yes.
So perfect explanation on that. So you're going to go with 65 next?
Yes.
Okay. What's next? You sure? Because once again, 7's bigger than 5.
Yes, but this is a 2-digit number.
All right, same thing, huh? All right. Got 50 out of the way. What's next? Same reason?
Yes.
All right, let's finish it up. What's the first number?
90.3.
Do you know another way to say that? Because the decimal point means and. Have you guys done place value with tenths, hundredths, thousandths yet?
Yes.
You have? Okay,
Yes.
so can you think of another way? Do you remember how that might be said? So say the whole number first. What's the whole number?
90
90. When you see a decimal point, you say the word and. Perfect. So 90 and
3.
3 what?
3
Tenths.
tenths.
Okay, because the first part is going to be tenths. The next one would be hundredths. All right? So if this is 90 and 3/10, can you read the last one for me?
7 and 8/10.
Tennille? Nicely done. And once again, a big thanks to the staff and students at Hacienda Elementary. We had a great time out there, and if you'd like Do the Math to come out to your class, simply give us a call, let us know what school you attend, and we'll see if we can get you guys in there, and we'll do a little math in your class. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30, and we would like to say thank you to Trevor for taking time out of his busy schedule to come on down to Do the Math and share with us a little bit of how he does multiplying right now. And because of that, we have dressed you in our finest uniform, and we're also going to be presenting you with a certificate to use at Johnny Rockets. So we hope you have an opportunity to go over and enjoy a meal over there, and if you do, make sure you ask for Lydia. She's the one that runs the show over there, and ask for Lydia, and if you go in dressed like that and Lydia's there, you will get top-notch service as always, but Lydia will make sure that you get what you want fast and get all that good stuff, all right?
Okay.
You get some ice cream, like shake or something. That's good stuff over there. Speaking of good stuff, we're going to go back out with Mary Lou and John Lee and check out some more tiling.
We are back live with John Lee, branch manager of Emser Tile. And we've been walking around, we're at a job site.
Correct.
And we've been talking about the tile they chose.
Yes.
And now we want to talk more mathematics.
Correct. The great thing I love about using practical math is it really plays a role in our industry. You know, the day-to-day math that you're learning in school and stuff like that can really be applied here in the job site and what we do. And one of the first things, you know, we look at is, here's a question for you kids out there. How many inches in a square foot?
Now, you would ask this somebody that you are interviewing to hire, correct?
That I would, just to see if they have the knowledge of the industry, but as well as sometimes with math, you got to break it down to the least common denominator in a way to find out how to do it. So in this way, say you have a tile like this. It's 8 inches by 45 inches. So some people go, well, how many square feet does one tile cover? In order to do that, you got to, you know, break that down into a way you can divide it and make it happen. So the first question is, how many inches in a square foot? I am no artist. Let me throw that out there right now. So here's a 12-inch, by 12-inch tile. So it's pretty rudimentary. 12 times 12 is?
144.
144. So that's our base. We're going to start with that right there. So this tile's an 8 by 45, and 8 times 45 is 360 inches. So this is 360 square inches. So what we're going to do is take 360 divided by the 144, and we'll get how many square feet one piece of tile will cover.
Oh, wow.
So we've already done the math. It's 2.5 square feet. So that way, if someone goes, hey, I got 25 square feet, how many tiles do I need? 10 pieces. And that's, you'll get some extra, but that's what it's going to cover. So that kind of breaks everything down so you can do the math and have it on a level playing field.
So let me ask you, do you use just US measurement or do you use metric measurement?
You know, most of it's going to be U.S. measurement. The way we do it in our industry is we don't really do it by piece like I just mentioned, but people do ask once in a while, so it's good to have that basic math fact. Someone's going to come in a room like this, and they're going to say, we have a 10 by 10 room. How many square feet is that? And that's where it's great, because in our industry, it's such an easy way to do math. You know, you have 100 square feet. So then we'll just plug in 100 square feet, put this tile in there, it'll tell you how many pieces of tile you need. So a lot of times it's not done by the piece, it's done by the square foot, and it's all inputs and stuff like that.
Now, because this tile, which is the new up and coming,
Yes.
because it's shaped so differently,
Yes.
okay? Usually, like you said, usually just a square.
Correct.
Right? But now it's not.
Yes.
It's different.
And that's why you need that math to kind of get that level playing field so you can see what you're playing with. You know, back in the day it was always a 12 by 12 tile. Well, that's 1 square foot, so if you have 100 square feet, you need 100 tile. And it made it pretty simple, but nowadays, you know, you do have to use some of your math skills. Remember that, kids? To get to know that type of stuff so you know what you're working with.
But also what we have to think, because this is not a perfect square
No,
room.
it is not.
And normally houses are not. We have corners, like over
Yes.
there's a corner. How do you calculate that in your estimation with your tile?
When we measure a room like this, what we always want to do is to calculate for the corners, the 45s, the 32s, and the 90s, and everything goes in there. When the installer will do their measurement, 100 square feet, they'll usually add about 10% onto that for the waste factor and cutting and stuff like that, because they know there's going to be angles and corners that'll eat up more tile. So they'll have to factor that into it. So every installer does it a little bit differently, but 10% is usually the standard, because you'll want to also keep some extra tile hidden away in case one ever does have an issue or someone drops a bowling ball on it or something like that.
Okay, so my house is 12 years old, and I had it built, and I have tile. Well, a piece of tile breaks. I don't have my leftover tile anymore. Can I just order the piece, the one piece I need now? How come? I mean,
Looks like we're going to remodel your house pretty soon, because no, unfortunately, a lot of times, like anything in a fashion or style, it has a life cycle. You know, everything pretty much does. So we can try to match it up, but for a lot of times, it's going to be a challenge. It really is. So if you don't have that box and you got a piece in the middle of your floor, maybe get a throw rug.
because it's the colors change,
Correct. The colors will
correct?
change. And a lot of our tile lines, such as this one, this won't be around probably in 12 years. We'll change the variation slightly, or it'll be lighter, darker, whatever the trend is in the industry. As one of the largest tile manufacturers, we have a lot of designers in our office on the cutting edge of new design, so it's always changing, so it doesn't stay stagnant. And colors every year, every couple months are changing, so we got to keep up with that. So if this isn't the latest and greatest, we're going to have the latest and greatest and keep constantly updating our core product line.
Now, you also talked about the size.
Yes.
Because every box is actually different, isn't it?
Well, we talk about nominal size in the construction industry, whether it's 2x4s nowadays, or if you go to PVC pipe or even tile, they call it a nominal size. Nominal means approximately. So this says it's an 8x45, but if you measure it, it may be 7 3/4 by 44 3/4.
So it's not exact.
Correct. But every piece will be the same exact
In the
size of it.
box.
But yeah, that way you can do math easier, rather than say 43 3/4, and I'll send that back to Mike who wants to do the math on that one, but I won't try to do that one, okay? But
But each box, so if I get another box, they will all be the same, but they might be off by a 1/4 inch or
each one will
something.
match the previous box. They will all match each other, but they won't be true to the size of a
So
8x45.
that leads to when you're laying down. When you're laying down the tile, do you need to lay it down by the box since they all line up, or does that not really matter?
It won't make a difference. It'll all be from the factory cut the same length, and same width, so you'll be fine.
Okay, well, this has been great information. And when we come back, we have more going on over here at our job site. So I'm going to send it back to the studio.
All right, nicely done. Thank you, Mary Lou. 636-4357 is the phone number. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30. And Trevor, time to step up the multiplication. You ready?
Yep.
Over to the board, please.
Here we go.
All right. Trevor, you can select a 2-digit number.
Okay.
What number would you like to use?
Let's see. I would like to use 36.
36. All right. Scott, you want to go with another one?
Sure. How about 23?
There we go. All right. Multiply them.
Aha, so here's the problem we're looking at.
All right.
What do you think we can do to start this problem off?
I think my way is what we've been doing before. So we could break up the 36 into 30 and a 6.
Good.
And then let's see. And then break up the 23. And break it up to 20 and 3.
Yeah, good. Well, what are you going to do with all those numbers now? You used to have 2 numbers, now you got 4.
Yes. Oh. So I could add 30, or multiply 30 and 20.
Got you thinking, huh?
I think it would be easier if I could do 23. If I could do 30 times 3,
Good. Okay.
and then I could get 90.
Okay.
Because 3 times 3 is 9, and
Good.
have that 0. And then I think I could possibly do 20 and times 6. So this will give me 120.
Good.
And I could have 120 plus 90. And then that equals 210.
210. Nice job. I like what you've done so far, but there's a little more to do. Are you ready? So let's pretend, for now, that this 2 isn't here, right? And you broke up your 30 into 30 plus 6. I like that a lot. So you did 30 times 3. That was great. What would be the other part of that problem that you would do if it was just a problem like this? You did 30 times 3. What else would you do times 3?
I could do, wait, what, 30?
So this one here, you told me this is 30, right?
Yep.
Plus 6. So the first problem you did was times 30 times 3. What else do you have to do times 3?
Oh, you could also do times 3 with this.
Right. So we didn't get a chance to do that over there yet, right? Okay, so go ahead and do that one.
So this is the same answer.
Yeah, we already got that one. Good.
It's over here. And then this is another basic math.
Good.
Like
That's
this
exactly
is
right. Now let's put that 2 back in there, right? So we have 90, right? We have 18. We got to make sure we add those together. You also have 120, right? Because you broke up the 23. You did 20 times 6. But now, again, we got that 3 here. We got to do something else with that, right? So you had the 2. Let me see where this was. Oh, you had the 20 times 6, but you also need to do the 20 times that 3 as well, right? Times the 30, actually. So there's 4 problems to do here, and here's how we know that. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 numbers. We got 4 problems to do. We've done 3 of them. You got 1, 2, and 3. Got to do 1 more. Let's see if you can figure out what that one is. So the one we missed was, we did these ones times 3. You also did 30 plus 6. I'm going to break that up, and we have to multiply times 20. You did this one times 20. And we also have to do that one times 20. So this is already done because you had 120, but that's the one we're missing.
Okay.
So we have to do 1 more. Can you do that one? And that one's got 2 zeros in it.
Yes. So if we add these 2, you could get 6.
Good.
Yeah, 6. And then we add this 0 and then that 0. Then we get 600.
Good job. All right, so here's all the numbers you got. You told me we had 600, right? And then over here we had 90.
Yep.
And then we also had 18.
Yep.
And then we also had 120. So maybe we can make a little bit of room for you here. And after all those problems are done, we're still not quite finished because we got to add them up, right? Let's see what you get at the end. Trevor, tell me a little bit about why you chose that. I think it's a really wise idea. You took the top number and the bottom number, right? Why did you choose to add those first?
I choose these because most of the time, like in a subtraction problem, you always want to use the bigger number instead of the smaller number because it would be a lot more harder. And then also in this one, it looks kind of harder if you just add like 600 and then 90 and then just plus 18.
It doesn't matter what order you add them in?
No, it doesn't, but I just picked this way because it looks the easiest.
Okay.
I'll give you guys another moment at most.
All right. We got to finish up. So we got the 18, right? We got these 2 done.
Yep.
We got to add those other 2 in there and get a final total. Good. Now down here at the bottom, we got 108. I'm going to write it here for you so you make sure you get it. And what was that other number?
720.
720. We got to add those together too. So we're coming up on the final answer. Here we go. Nice job. So a lot more going on there, but it is possible to multiply 2-digit numbers. Nice work.
There you go, nicely done. Sky, you're going to need to erase that board. Trevor, come on over here because we're going to go to the phones. And Sky, you're going to be putting 2 graphs up there. You can see one kind of on the monitor right there.
Okay.
You can kind of do that, and I'll read the numbers to you if they're not quite clear enough because we're trying to view this on a phone screen right now.
Okay.
So along the bottom, we've got 10, 30, and 50. And we're going to go to the phone right now. And Indiana, how are you today? Hello, Indiana.
Hello.
And you're a student at Rosedale Middle School, correct?
Yes, I am.
What grade are you in?
I'm in 7th grade.
All right. Well, while we're talking here, I'm going to have Scott start putting the numbers up on the board. So, Scott, on the other axis, we have 26.16.
Okay.
And the one above that is 52.32. And we're going to go to the other graph, and then we'll get
So that's
to the
first
questions. Right, that's the first
We
graph. The
wanna
second one's
compare
going to
to
look
the-
just like it.
Okay.
All right?
All the numbers are going to be the same?
No, on the bottom of this one, this is time that we have on this axis, and time in the other one also. But it's 20, 40, and 60 on the other graph.
Oh, okay.
So we have 20, 40, 60. And the other axis is going to be labeled distance.
Okay.
And that one, the first number is going to be 38.52. And the second number is going to be 64.20. So Indiana, if you would be so kind as to give us the information at the beginning of the graphs, if you could read that for us.
Okay. So at the beginning of the graph, are you talking about the x-axis or y-axis?
Well, where it says 2 cars, a green car and a yellow car, if you
Yes.
could read that for us.
The problem? Okay.
Yes.
It says 2 cars, a green car, and a yellow car are in a race that is 150 miles long. During the race, both cars maintain a constant rate of speed as shown in the graph below.
All right, so the
And-
race is going to be 150 miles long.
Okay.
All right, and there's a constant rate of speed. So if you want to take a look at the graph that we've got up on the monitor right there, you can see.
Sure. Okay. So we
So-
have a constant rate of speed.
Right.
And they're both like that?
Exactly.
Okay.
And we will go down and take a look. And Indiana, if you can go ahead and read the question now.
Okay, there are 3 questions, and the first one says, the green car won the race. So it's asking if it's supported or not supported.
Indiana, can you tell me which of these graphs represents the green car?
The one that represents the green car is the one that has 26.16 and the one that has 52.32 in the y-axis.
Gotcha. That's the green car. And what's the other one? Is it a red car?
The
Yellow, I
other
think.
one is a yellow car.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And
was the yellow
Indiana, what we're going to do is we're going to work on this. We'll take a look at the first part of the question because you guys got about 2-3 minutes to start this.
Okay.
And if we don't get through all of it, then we will get a hold of you and make sure that we solve the entire problem with you when we're through with this part. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Okay, Indiana, let me know what we need to do. It says that the green car won. Is that correct?
Yes. So
Okay.
it's asking if it's supported or not supported.
Oh, it asks if the graphs are supportive of that or not?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so what can you tell me about these graphs that stands out to you? What is specific about the green car graph that might make you think that that one was fast or that one was faster?
Well, I know that the unit rate for the green car is going to probably be around 1.308
Wow, all right. And how'd you come up with that number?
because I divided.
What'd you divide?
So I divided in the green one. I did 20 divided by 26.16.
Okay. And can you tell me where the 20 came from in that one? On my graph, I have a 10. Did I goof that number?
Well, on here it has a lot of like dashes. So in between 10 and 30, there is another line.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. So
And-
the line, what you're telling me is the line goes through this point? The point
Yeah.
at 20 and 26? Ah, okay, so we have a dot right there. That makes sense. Okay, and so you're finding the unit rate. And you divided it out. And can you tell me what that was again?
The unit rate is 1.308.
I like that. Well done. Okay, that's the unit rate. And what about the other one? Did you find the unit rate on the other graph?
Yes, I did.
Okay. What's the unit rate? Well, first of all, tell me which numbers you divided.
How many numbers I divided?
Yeah, which numbers did you divide to find the unit rate on the second graph?
So on the other graph, in between 40 and 60, there's another line, and there is like 50. So the line in between 40 and 60 represents 50.
Okay.
So I did 64.20 divided by 50.
Okay, that must be a point right there on the graph then too, at 50 and 64.20. And what was the unit rate on that graph?
1.284.
I like the work you've done there. So just by looking at the unit rate, which one is a faster car?
The faster car is the green car.
That's it. And there you go. So it seems to me with the work that you've done here, taking the numbers right from the graph, you found the faster car, and I'm pretty sure that these graphs justify the fact that the green car won the race, especially since they both went the same distance.
There you go. And Indiana, we hope that helps you out with the start of that. I know that that's the first part, and I think you had 3 different arguments you had to justify and support, so we will definitely get back with you and make sure that those other 2 are answered right there. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30, and Scott will be getting back with Indiana to take care of those 2. But right now, we're going to go out for one final visit with Mary Lou.
We are back live with John Lee, branch manager of Emser Tile, and we've already gone through your construction site here,
Correct,
the job, talked about all the tile and everything that goes on with it. We even did our math problem.
did.
Now, last week we were visiting the ROC, the Kern High School District ROC program. What relationship do you have with that?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. Currently, we're working with the high school district to develop a curriculum for tile setting. They're doing a whole construction program, I believe is what they're developing, and we're hoping to be a part of that so that when people coming out of high school can have maybe a career setting tile in this industry, designing, which is fast growing. Our community is growing. We have a lot of building and developing going on right now. So it'd be really a great thing for some people to get into. And it's one of those things, friends always want tile installed too. So you always got a side job. So let me tell you.
Now, right now, how would you get into this type of job?
Well, there's a couple ways. It's one of those things, we don't have, unfortunately, a program right now that they can go, a vehicle that they can go to a school for that I'm aware of in Bakersfield. We partner with a couple organizations, Kern County Builders Exchange, have a lot of contractors to help you. There's ABC, Associated Builders and Contractors, a facility for contractors that can also help you get started. But a lot of it is going to be apprenticeship, you know, finding someone in the industry and working with them to learn how to do it. It's not something with this you can just jump in and get a job done right, because a lot of stuff with the service preparation we didn't go into, that it's just, there's a lot more involved than just putting a tile down.
Now, you are also, you deal with builders, home builders, correct?
Yes.
And do you deal a lot with public, or is it just through the home builders?
In my role as a branch manager, it's really community outreach relationships and really driving people into the branch is what I do. I got a great team at the branch that helps deal with the everyday traffic. So my goal is really to spread our brand throughout the city and show everyone what we offer. But we are blessed to do a lot of work with home builders. Our town is growing really rapidly, which is great. We got a great city. So, you know, it's really the relationships of working with them that really helps benefit.
Okay. Is there anything else that you could think of that you feel is the most important for our viewers out there to know about your job?
You know what? Just get involved with the community and be out there and be open to things, you know what I mean? And stuff like this will come to you. I was lucky to get this and fortunate to be here with this company and do this great work. So just, it's all about the community.
I want to thank you today for showing us around
My
this
pleasure.
job site. It's absolutely beautiful what you've been doing. The tile is beautiful. And also I would like to thank the homeowners for allowing us to come out here today and go through and see all the wonderful changes they've been making to the house. And again, thank you so
My pleasure.
much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, and that's it today from where we are at. So I'm going to send it back to the studio.
All right, thanks for that, Mary Lou. A lot of math involved in any home improvement, but one of the basic things kids can do, even on a smaller scale, is working with tile.
Right.
And covering an area, just something, you know, simple like that, even, you know, a wall, wallpaper, things like that, painting, things like that. Did you have fun today, Trevor?
Yes.
Well, you know what? I certainly do appreciate you sharing with us some of the different ways that you do your multiplication and taking some time out to visit the studio. So, and we'd also like to thank Indiana, and for that we will be sending out to Indiana a couple of passes to any CSUB athletic event of Indiana's choice, and that way you can check out any sporting event you like at CSUB. Hey, we do have phone tutors here until 5:30 this afternoon, and until we meet again, continue to do the math.
Major support for Do the Math has been provided by Chevron, the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, California Resources Corporation, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, Panama Buena Vista Union School District, Bakersfield City School District, and the San Luis Obispo County Office of Education, with additional production assistance provided by these supporters of education in Kern County and throughout the state of California.